Wrong. Let's see.
Again, waiting months
Oh,
with temporary teeth
lordy.
are those insanely uncomfortable.
Lordy, lordy. Goodness gracious. Good morning. Morning, Isle. Hi, Meryl. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Joanne. Happy Monday, February 3rd. It's so hard to believe that we're in February. I just felt like we just celebrated the holidays and we're in February. And that means that when does Phil come out? What's Groundhog's Day? Okay, so Groundhog's Day 2025 was yesterday. How did I not pay attention to that? Did he come out? Wait, I gotta find this out for us. He predicted a long winter. And people, I feel like that Phil is right. Hear me out. I follow like 4 people on 6 weeks more of winter. I follow people, a couple of YouTubers that are really, really good at weather predictions and they have all the models. What we have today and tomorrow is it's going to be like a whiplash. It's this heat. We have this heat that's coming in, which is there's a cooling that's going on in California and like the West Coast, which they need. So there's going to be rain and all that stuff, which also is going to see some devastation because anyone that's seen, if you've seen California, it's not, it doesn't look like California. And with things burned down to the ground, sometimes with excessive amount of rain can cause um, flooding, mudslides, and things along that time. Okay, Lemur was like, "Nah, dude, it's gonna get cold. I don't want to lie to you." So what the like the German and the Canadian like models are showing is that there is a La Nina pressure that's coming in, and that we may see like some freakish storms coming in late this week, early next week. And this is how people get sick. Today, people it's going to be like 50 degrees outside. So it may not be warm to, let's say, someone in the West, but out here, when it's been like 12 degrees and stuff, 50 degrees feels like, oh God, I could wear maybe like a t shirt and jeans. I don't even have to wear, I wore a sweater today to go drop off my kids. Yes, there was ice on the windshield and I had to scrape it off, but I know today's gonna be 50 degrees. But it's like a false sense of hope, like a fall spring. And my neighbor, let's just name her Lily. She's an older woman and she doesn't speak English very well, but she's just phenomenal in the garden. I went to go like snip something out of my garden and she like advised me, no, 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 you don't want it to regrow in winter. And I'm like, it's so warm. Maybe, spring's coming early. She's like, no, 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 wait for the snowdrops. And I haven't seen any snowdrops. She told me that like a couple of years ago, and the tulip heads are a very good indication if spring's coming or not. And I haven't seen any tulip heads, and I haven't seen any snowdrops. So I think Phil was right. I'm not opposed to winter. I actually like winter. I feel like winter is a time that you actually spend more time in your house and around people that you love. You might want to hurt them at the end of winter, and I understand that because I do too. But I just feel like it's more family orientated because when spring happens, it's like football, track, da 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 da, and it's like constantly moving, and there's like no time to rest. So I feel like I like winter because it's like some kind of reprieve. I get to read books. I get to like jazz and riz my kids and just, I don't know, act a donkey with them. And they're just like a little bit more chilled because they don't want to be outside in the cold weather. So, what up, Big Young? I know. Oh my god. Oh, you're gonna try. Yeah, I am so excited for all the classes. You have no idea. I'm a nerd, okay? Always remember that I'm a nerd. I'm gonna stay true and try and true. So I was like thinking yesterday about all the places that I've tremendously blessed to teach at. And I was just like, I wonder who I'm gonna see. And I was just like, I can't wait to see everybody. And I always get nervous because if you watch Captain's Log, you understand that I'm a nerd and I'm awkward and you guys accept me. But like people that don't watch it, it's like, are they going to accept how quirky I am? Quirky I am and whatever. But I'm just so excited to go to all these events and see everybody. I still wish that there was a way I can go to the summit, not as a teacher, but just as a person, because there's so many awesome teachers there, and there's so many classes that I would wanna take so badly. Um, so I think Lauren does a really good job of putting together this, and it's, like, fun, and I feel like it's you bring the YouTube, Instagram universe into reality, and I think that's pretty cool. I think there's so many cool retreats this year from so many different people, like, I seen that Kasaya and L Ha Lynn's from Handmade Lynn's Handmade Lindsay? I'm gonna say I met her at, Wizard Getaway, she was really sweet. They have a retreat, and there's just so many, Tara has one in Canada, the Greater Alberta? I'm gonna say it wrong. She has one in Canada, and they're doing stickers and bags. Like I see so many different retreats, and it makes me happy because it just means that other like-minded people are just having a mini vacation with other people like us. It's like it's just a treat because it's not that many of us. Like if you really think about your circle of friends in real life, how many of them actually so? In your real life friends, not your virtual friends, like people that you run in on a daily basis in real life, on not like, oh, once or twice a year or talk on the phone. I'm talking about people that you run in at least 2 or 3 times out of a week. How many of them so? Because the only person that when she was alive was my abuelita. She was the only person that sewed that I knew. Nobody else did. Even when I was in drama, I was always sewing up things and hemming things. So I feel like we feel like our art is big because we are so tightly bound together in on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. But if you look at the bigger scope of something, we are so small. And yet then we are so big and needed. You think about the people that are designing the dresses on at the Grammys or the handbags or whatever people are sporting. We're in high demand, but there is so few of us. It's a very, very weird thing. We like there's not to me, there's not another art that has that expression where millions of people wants us, but there's not an actual lot of us in the big picture of the thing. So I just think it's interesting that we have these I think it's interesting and I feel like it's important to have these retreats, not only for a vacation, but just to be around someone that knows like when we're ripping out a scene why we want to Hulk smash on everybody or why we get excited when there's a new pattern out or like just someone got fabric that looks like suede but it's easy to sew like why we get excited for double-sided tape or half of us who sniff our double-sided tape when it comes in. I know you because I do it too. So, like I think it's just cool that we have places now that we can all be together and I'm just like, I'm super excited. Let me scroll on up. Good morning, Annetta. Oh, that's my puppy. I know. Okay, okay, so like listen, so Liz has like this rhinestone class. I have mentioned this several times. Whoever goes to the summit, yes. So you cannot have my coffee. You do not lick my coffee cup. I love you though. You're so pretty. You're a little big boy. Okay, so when I have to he's my favorite person. I wanna go to that, and I don't know what the other classes are. They go live, I think, on the 10th, but I that alone, Liz mentioned it on one of her lives, and I if you go into Swoon and look up my first couple videos. One, I have a really in detail video about interfacing, like down to buckram. I was talking about buckram before anyone else was talking about buckram. Okay, but there's another video where me and Monica are putting together. I forgot, like it's a case in Swoon. It's a free pattern, and I had rhinestones on mine, but mine's would not adhere properly. They kept falling off or whatever. That's something that I've always wanted to do, and Shannon can attest to you that when I when I did my Rowena, my minimalist, I did not put out into the public because I melted not only my fabric, but then like specks of the like something like white was on it, and I think it was just because how I melted my rhinestones. I've always been enamored by that, so I would love to learn from somebody like how I can fix what I do wrong so I can do it better. Because I think rhinestones on bags is absolutely genius. It's just like I have this crystal or roasted Mickey Mouse ear thing in my head, and I want to make it come to life so bad. So I want if Liz does decide to teach a class online, I would pay for it happily. I know. Oh, yeah, that's hard. You're like I mean, there are gonna be other kids there, though. I know Monica's bringing her children, there's Thea, there's people bringing their kids, so, I mean, that's a good great thing too. I think actually bringing your kids to the summit is a smart thing because there's other kids there and there's kids teaching classes, so I feel like it opens up a new world to children and also shows children, like, they could teach art to people too. Like, I don't know, I'm really excited about that. That's the first time I've ever seen in any show that I've ever been to where a child is teaching, and I think that's really important in our day and age that we, like, help the next generation, teach and learn and help them realize that they can help the other people. I think that is what I'm excited about so much. Like, it touches my heart so much. Yeah, nobody sews in my actual friend group. Like, how I know is everybody asked me to fix things sewing wise. You're getting a John uniform, and the only one that properly fits is because I'm the only person that sews a mural. All my friends that are RNs, LVNs or whatever, when I lived in California, they would draw. My side hustle was making scrubs fit like perfectly. So like I would snatch in the waist a little bit more and so it wasn't just like a box. That was a great side hustle. I loved it, and I like I don't know. I got paid really well, and they would always tip me, and it was, like, great underneath, the table money because they wanted to look cute in their scrubs. It's not like the thing is, like, Grey's Anatomy and Scrubs and other TV shows give people, like, this false thing that, like, that, scrubs look like, fitted like that, and they're not. They look like boxes. That was my side hustle. Oh, yeah, the Pisces is amazing. I can't wait to get templates off of that, like, that's all I keep thinking of because I have, like, 16,000,000 ideas. Um, yeah, so I think that good morning. I think that going to one of these retreats is really awesome because you get to meet everybody, like, if I'm not mistaken, Shannon had hers she had her live update, Friday about, the pattern of the Pisces and showing different bags and talking about when the video comes out and speaking about 3D printers, pattern themes, which I feel like she's the only person that offers that right now. Which is really cool, like like, to have that included because I know a lot of people that have 3D printers, um, but then I was thinking I was just thinking that she mentioned that she's going to Nikki Kinder's, class that Lauren's doing, and I'm like, "How cool is it to have Shannon, Lauren, and Nikki Kinder in one room, and then whomever else the teachers are? I mean, other students are." Like, that is going to be a weekend of pure fun. "Hey, Holly." And then I found out that I think Brittany's going. I'm like, "Oh my god, you know that weekend's gonna be lit." Like like, how fun is that? These are all people that you know from either Facebook, YouTube, or somewhere, and they're all gonna be in one place over a weekend sewing something that's phenomenal. Like, that's exciting. That is so exciting. That is so much fun, and I think this is why I'm so excited about, like, retreats or, like, small get-togethers because I think that it's important for us to stay together and have trips together or some time to be together because most groups, like, if they're a motorcycle crew, they meet more often than us. Most artist groups have when they're singing and whatever, they're meeting more together. Our group is not very big and it's far in between in person. So if we can make an effort to see some of them at least once a year and then help usher in the next generation, that is a goal that I want to set for every year. I know. I would be too. I love her wallets. Seriously, she does a really good job. Like there, I'm always enamored with anyone. I remember when I made my first classics of around wallet. I don't know. Like you, if you haven't made it, first of all, I don't know why you don't have the pattern. If you have the pattern and haven't made it, Sue has really good instructions, like really good instructions, and then she has like really awesome hyperlinks to like every section. It is a process. It's been yeah, it's been it's a process. Anytime someone wants that wallet from me, I'm, like, secretly going, "Yes," and I'm like, "Oh," at the same time, because it's, like, a lot of process, and, like, I feel like Sue has, like, this patience that I don't have, and, like especially if you made one, especially when it comes down to craft tags and glue. So if you know you made it. But like I think it's awesome that she's teaching it and there's going to be like special themes with it. And I think it's just going to be a cool class because a lot of people are intimidated by that bag and you're going to have someone that has made this wallet numerous times teach you like the ins and outs and tips and tricks. And I think that is awesome because so many people want to make that wallet and people are afraid of it. So the fact that there's a class for it in person, yeah, run to that class. Don't walk. I know, but see that there was. We did have one. The thing is that there are things that happen, but and hopefully the more conventions we have and the more sewing retreats, it sparks different people's attention and they'll create something. There there are things that you're sometimes going to have to travel for and there's like I'm going to California. Not only am I excited because it's, like, my state that I was born and raised in, but I also know that there are people that watch me that are on the West Coast is like, "When are you coming to the West Coast?" And I was like, "I don't know when I can." And the fact that I can go there and I can meet some of my West Coast friends, I'm excited for it. Um, there hopefully, there will be something more in the East Coast, but there is, like, handmade space, so if you are looking for a class, look on her website. She does teach classes too over the weekends, as well as other people do rent from her and they go. They're learning the classic zip around wallet for Maggie 55. I don't know if the class is sold out. I believe somebody had to sell a ticket. I'm not too sure if that ticket was sold and just in case, but definitely look on so whatever studios to see if there is. I want to say Louise Mercer was trying to sell his ticket, but I'm not too sure if it already sold. I'm pretty sure it probably already sold. And so, like, yeah, we have that one in California, the sack and bag expo, and I know that Lauren and Brittany are going somewhere in Washington State. So there are things in different parts of the country. You just sometimes have to travel to them. There's usually quilt expos in every single state or state nearby. And I always tell people to go to those because usually in the quilt expo, there's a bag maker or two that's in there and you could meet up and you might never know. You might talk to someone in that quilt expo and you might be the next bag maker next year that has a class there. So, and invite other bag makers to join you. So, if you feel that there's a need in your area, start doing researches and start making waves. Start making a little bit noise, and you never know, you might be that person that's teaching other people. So I say go for it. Yes, it's in Washington. So yeah, like I think it's really cool. I think it's cool that we have these things, and I think it's for I was like I was telling my husband, I think it's important to have like his their like just everything, like, my husband's into football, track, and all this stuff like that, so when he's around other people that are in it and they have that same kind of passion, they're all there locally, they can come over every Sunday or whatever. I have friends that are into painting and they go to, like, other painting classes and have friends that paint, or they throw clay, or they do whatever, and they all are there, and I'm like, it is super hard to find a sewing friend that's in the same state as me. I have Aya, what up? Ooh, ooh. So, but like to find a sewing friend that is in the same state as you, let alone someone that you see on a weekly basis, is extremely hard. That's why I think that the sewing community relies so heavily on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, is because that's our only way of communication. And I think that's the reason why we all say we're introverts, because realistically, we don't have friends that in real life that sew that we can communicate on a day-to-day basis with. I honestly think that's the reason why we always say we're introverts. Yeah, there is. There is there's always something. I know I have a sewing bag like place that's in Ellicott. They're always closed though, so I just like I never really like they're weird close. Like where I live in Maryland, like things are closed on Sundays, like things close early on Saturdays. So if I don't get out in the middle of the week to see it, I don't get to see it. But I think if they're a Baby Lock and Brother one, and I know sometimes they have classes. I just haven't had the opportunity to see them in person. Yeah. Yep, it's hard, Nikki. It's hard when you have no real life sewing friends. And I think honestly, because the first thing you hear every sewing friend say is, "I'm an introvert." It's because we have nobody close to us that are that has the same primary passion that we do. You're not doing what you're doing just because you like it. You do it because you love it. It's becoming your therapy. You're proud of it. Like you're trying to achieve the next level. It's the same passion as people that play football or play basketball or that are part of a chess club or that are poker. It's just all these other things that I'm mentioning, there are people that are they could be interactive on a daily basis. We don't have that luxury. And that's why we're stuck to our phones and our tablets on for YouTube and all that stuff because there's no other connection really. And it sucks. So when we have these like when we have something like the summit, I say run, don't walk. Meet some like-minded people. You never know. You might run into someone that you never knew that lives like one city away or one town away, and that could be your sewing friend. So I'm just saying. Oh, I'm a I don't know, I feel like okay, I feel like I'm an introvert, it takes me a while to warm up to people, but then I get goofy, because my defense mechanism or to make people laugh or dance, is to be goofy. Generally a goofy person, I don't really take myself super serious, so that's pretty much how I am. Oh, Holly, I'm sorry. And I think a lot of us feel like that though, Holly. You're not alone. Um, I think a lot of us feel like that because if you, there's not very many of us compared to other crafts and arts, unfortunately. And it's just very interesting. Like I was thinking about it the other day. Like I was watching Mimi G, and I was like, I wonder if does she have sewing friends? Or I was looking at Charm Patterns, Gertie. She has workers that sew, but does she have friends who friends that are don't work for her or she's not hiring out to contract with? Does she have friends that sew like on her level? Like, does she have friends that sew? And it's out of pure curiosity because it could be super lonely doing that life. Like I was thinking about that because she puts out really detailed she's like Shannon and Mackie 55 like for clothing. If you get a gritty pattern, it's going to be well detailed, a lot of information. Um like it leaves nothing to the imagination. And you're going to get like down to the measurements, how to grade and everything. And the patterns that she puts out, you're just like, holy smokes. Like once you read a Gertie pattern, you look at a McCall's and be like, I am never dealing with you again. Like, it's very like it's like a little booklet and it's worth it. Like it is so worth it. Like it's worth it. But then I'm like, I wonder if she has friends that are on either that sew or on the same kind of sewing level as her. Like, I wonder, I'm just out of curiosity. And like Mimi G and all that stuff, I'm always curious. Gertie from Charm Patterns, Yeah, I like so if you guys don't know, my original sewing era is, where I come from, my origins is garments. So I like to make 50s pinup dresses and bustiers, corsets, all that stuff. So if you actually scroll all the way through my Instagram, all the way down the bottom, you will see tons of pinup dresses, and I love making them. Um, it's just something I like to do. I haven't made one in a while. I am thinking of a Cora one for Otakon. That's in August, but I don't know, I'm, like, losing weight, so I have to kinda wait until end of July and August to make it, because the one I have a dress from her that I particularly wanna make, but there's boning in it, and if it's too big, it'll bow out. But I digress. I'll go live and I'll sew that when I sew that so you can see it. But yeah, I like to that's where I come from, and then I also did quilts. That's why I always tell you your hidden superpowers from where you started sometimes can help with your bag making. So, then I did quilting and then bag making, but I dabble with hats and things like that as well, because if you usually make clothes that are like 50s pinup, you kinda get into the hats and things like that too. It just kinda coincides with one another. Um, oh, I use a lot of machines. Alright, so, like, the machine I'm sitting on right now is a 5550N. It's similar to a Janome HD or, a Juki TLQ, you know, the 800 or 2200. The only difference between the 2200 and this is the 2200 has, like, this foot lever that can hover, like, it gives you more room for clearance. This is the only thing I hate on this machine. The motor's really powerful. Um, I use it a lot when I use it a lot for different things, but it depends on how people pay attention. I have a 1541S, the one that you normally see in videos, and the reason why you see it in videos is because where the table's situated, it has the more light. And then the 1341S. I never do videos on it because the table sits, like, right here, and I feel like if I'm gonna do videos, you're gonna get, like, an up close personal shot of my pores, and I'm not really about that life. It's a very weird thing. I know, so yeah, I like the Juki TL QVP, whatever. I think it's really good. I just think that you need to know how to work it. Again, some of the bag makers that I absolutely love, like if you guys know who Bedhog is, and you should know because her bags are impeccable, she just has a straight stitch machine. She has a Juki. And if you guys know who Aura Rosa is, if you guys know Alexis, she has a Janome HD9, which is very similar to the Juki TLQ 100, and she does not have an industrial machine. All those badass bags come from that domestic. Sometimes it's not the machine, it's the person behind it. And if you know how to work your machine and know how to work it, you can do anything. The world's your oyster. Yeah. Oh, Bedhog, yeah. Amy eats and leaves no damn crumbs. I'm like, whenever I see her, I'm like, "Oh, hell, Amy." So she is phenomenal. She's like someone I don't know, I just love seeing people's work. Like, seeing people's work in our groups literally makes me super excited. The thing is that, you have to come into the thing that, 1, the only person that you need to compete with is yourself. 2, appreciate everybody's work because with more work being shown, that means that there's more people outside of our little world being hyper aware we are. Like I told you, 2024 was interesting. We had was 2023 or 20 what year did Obi-Wan come out? Was it 2024 or 2023? We had somebody in my tester group, like in the tester group, her name is Kristen. She is here in Maryland. She designed a bag for the little girl who played Princess Leia for the opening of Obi-Wan. Like I said, you want us to be seen so we can be in more places. Like I said, Tara from OO Creation, all the backpacks on that HBO show that I always forget the name of. I always want to say End With Us, but it's a zombie movie with re- that Pedro dude. He's really hot. All the backpacks in there are Tara's, all of them. So like they're I'm hyped up when I see one of ours make it. That's what I'm thinking of. This person I've been seeing in our Facebook world, and I've been drooling over their bag, and they made it. They're doing some big things. That's super important because it's pretty cool. Last of Us, like, I don't know what I'll do without you. So, The Last of Us, all those bags are terrors, all of them. And she's gonna be in California, and she's gonna be teaching people how to make dope shoes. So, like, and she's always willing to drop her knowledge. She's been in the game for a very long time, and she's good at what she does. Yeah. I know I don't know, yeah, my 5550 is, like, the most. I love her. Her name is Amira. But she only takes 40 weight thread. Like, when me and, Monica used to sew on them together, her 8700 could take 70 weight thread. My machine, like, rejects it. Like, I don't know why. I've so, the reason why I sew the most on the 1541S is I like thicker thread. I don't know why. I don't know. I buy like 210, I buy 235, 9 most of the time I'm sewing a 90 weight thread. I just like the way the thickness of thread looks on bags. I think it looks like it's hand stitch. Like, it gives it more of the hand stitch, like Jillian. If you Life Whisper, she has the dragonfly as her symbol. She does regular leather bags, but she also does hand stitching leather bags, and her bags made me started wanting thicker threads, and it's been a kick since like 2023. Like, I just love thick thread. You started garden sewing too. I think that's why I told you, like, so last month, um, for January, for Patreon, we did a welt pocket, and I did one before, and like when we first started, but like I got it because I when I used to put them on men's jackets or women's slack pants, that's I was like, oh, these things are amazing because even if you don't have a zipper in it, it's really hard for something to come out of them. So, like, there's a lot of cool tricks, like understitching. Like, I was always about understitching because that's what you learn in, as a garment sewer. You learn about understitching and stay stitching and all that stuff, so thank you. Yeah, if you guys can, like, smash I always wanna do it like the YouTubers, like, "Smash that like button." It does help a lot. Yeah, the thicker the thread. So I'm really into 210 thread. How so I have to put like 210 on the top, and then I'll do 70 weight on the bottom. Because if I do it 210 on the bottom, it just my machine is like Shinova. I'm like, it can handle it. It's like it handles it better on the 1341S than the 1541. My machines are very temperamental. Yes. Yes, I've sewn full bags. I just never done a video on it, and, Lisa we went to her house in Virginia, me, Christine, went to her house in Virginia so she could help us with, the embroidery aspect for the Sally Tomatoes advent box I mean, not advent box, sewing New Year's bag, and, like, Christine finally got to sit behind a, a a free arm, and I was like, "Do you see now why I don't do videos on it?" She was like, "I just didn't expect the machine to be up here." I'm like, "There's a reason, like, anyone that gets a Maggie 55 pattern, you only see her hands. Like, you only get a up close personal shot of, like, the bed and her hands, and then it, like, zooms out because the machine, when you sit down, is, like, right like, it's a face shot, like, you would see every freckle, every like every pore. You will get an in close person of like my curl patterns. Like, it is ridiculous. I was like, I'm not putting myself in that. But yes, I have sewn full bags. I did a couple of times even on in my Patreon. I've sewn full bags just on my industrial. It's really fun, and then you can get the table extension through, there's a person on Etsy that has really cool tables extensions, and on the table extension, she has strap, magnet things to make the perfect strap, which she just, like, is killing it. She has, like, a lot of cool stuff. Um, so yeah, there's all these cool things on there, so I don't know. So, I don't know I don't know if I even showed you guys my bags yesterday. So, this is the Raya. This bag is from Sewing Arts, and I went all rose gold. I like this bag. I've only made it one other time. So I have like Star Wars stuff. It has like a cool slip pocket in the back. Again, you could put some like pistachio bag in there. I like pistachios or peanuts. I can't do almonds. They like dry my throat out. And then the inside has a zipper pocket and a slip pocket. You have a cute little handle, and you have a zipper pocket in the back. Now you can actually put another zipper pocket. She mentions it in the pattern, like in the back here, on the back here, or in the back on here. It's just that it's not a very, I don't like when people put zipper pockets in an area that you're gonna have to be like, oh, hold on, friend. Like, we're at the movies. Like, what are you doing? Like, I like these for convenience, not awkwardness. And so like having one right up here, yes, because you can just be like, yeah, man, or like inside here where it's a big opening, not in here. Don't do that in here. Maybe like another slip pocket within it. I can see that, but yeah, don't put a zipper pocket because you know you leave that open. Look, Lynette, I did it. Okay. I just need to make the strap on this. I love this, the way this bag comes together. I need to give it a good steam press because it's a little bit wrinkly. But yes, I had a lot of fun with this. I've never made a bag for Padme. I always make one for, I made one for Rey, of course. I always made one for Princess Leia. I make a lot for Princess Leia. I usually make a hitchhiker every year for her. And I'm actually going to make a hitchhiker again for Padme. But I wanted to, like, she was a badass, man. All I have to say, she was a badass. Like, we always talk about, Darth Vader, and he was like these two things, but yeah, he did help produce two Jedi Masters, but their mom was kind of a badass. So I wanted to make a bag for that, and I think I achieved that pretty well. I love how these insets come in and put together. I think that the designer of Sewing Arts has such an original mind. It's just really cool. So this is the class I'm going to be teaching. One of the classes I'm going to be, no, this is the class I'm teaching at Wizardly Getaway, and I'm going to show people how to make a nice round a mini Magdala, and there's going to be some really cool details that we're going to do with hardware, because I get a lot of times like, how do you install a bow, or how do you install that? So that's going to be part of it, and we're also going to be going over binding, because I know a lot of people have a lot of weird tips and tricks. I have some and interesting ones and some not interesting ones, conventional and non-conventional ways, and this should be fun. And I don't know if I showed you guys the one that we guys finished in, this is the bag that we finished in Patreon. We finished this bag last month. Super cute. We made our straps. We have our little bag. This is the Dreamer Pack. I highly recommend everyone get it. We made some modifications. We have like a wristlet that you can take on the go. We had some fun. We did a really good job with that. I was really proud of everyone. And I love my straps. If you guys do some modified straps, a really cool place to put your badges on your straps. It's like they walk around with like advertisement, like, where did you get your bag? Right there. That's so Nova. I know. So like, this is what I'm talking about. This is a really awkward, this bag is dope. It gives, like I said, it gives Loungefly a total run for its money. Like, However, if you put a slip pocket in here, it's like, open it up, go to the back, and go under. It just is very weird because this is like 2.5, like 2 3/4 of an inch. And then, so you would either need to put your slip pocket here, which again, it's not, if you're flipping your backpack over your shoulders, it actually makes more sense to have the pocket right here. But instead, we made a couple ideas with this, and it has a zipper pocket as well as a pocket that can attach and detach in your bag. So we had some fun. And the voting ends for this month in a few moments, and I can't wait to see what they picked. I know. I was just excited. This is the last. So, like, every time, Backstitch is like a really weird thing to me. You know how, like, The Simpsons, like, predict things that are going to happen? And we're like, oh my God, in 1996, they predicted this person was going to happen or this event. All right. Backstitch is that for Comic Cons for me, and I can prove it. So sometimes I'll buy when Backstitch was really active, I'll buy fabric and nothing. I would not touch it. Then 2 years later, these people come from Comic Con, like like with the fabric theme that they picked. I'm like, holy so like all of the Goonies are coming. This is the only other Goonie print that I have print from this. It was the only part of the roll I had. So I only had enough to do the strip right here and these two pieces, and I couldn't do any more. I have no more of this. So I was like, okay, you'll be the only Goonies back. So it's really weird. They're on it though. So yeah. All right, people. Well, I'm going to drink my kombucha and start prepping my next bag and just get things in place. And I will talk to you tomorrow. I hope everyone has a really good day. And I'll see you later. Bye.